Here we go. Hey, welcome back to the podcast. This week on the podcast, ask not, want not, waste not, want not, say not, get not. I am.
We are just these guys, and Mike is all knotted up.
Exactly. So watching this week was I had to just go with humorous. A slap in the forehead. And then as we started out last week and I was like, extreme thinking and why you do not want to go there. And you started laughing. And I was like, I was laughing along with you. And you're saying, if you don't know what we're laughing about.
Right. And you didn't know.
Just pay attention. I didn't know. I was standing there, what are you doing? I have no idea. Yeah. This knot thing, getting the knot out, it really is a challenge.
It's super challenging.
And that's exactly why we've done, is this 70? Will this be 70?
Today is 70.
70. We just turned 70. 70 episodes.
70 episodes.
That is pretty awesome.
And introduced this concept in episode 16.
Mm-hmm. And
have talked about it numerous times.
Well, I think we've touched on it in just about every episode.
Sure.
But we can continue and continue and continue. And once it starts to get, when you start to think that this is getting a little repetitious, you're probably just starting to get it. Trust me, this takes it is a seismic shift in the way we have thought our whole lives.
It is. It really is.
A seismic shift that can make such a difference. Even a little shift makes a difference. That's what I've noticed. That's what I've experienced. A little shift, apparently, that has made a difference. But I'm looking forward to the day where I can catch it before it ever comes out. That's the thing.
Well, and the purpose of last week's video was to help illustrate it for people, because you don't hear yourself thinking, and you don't hear yourself talking so much. And I've always told people that if you're brave, you will take these concepts I give you and share them with your spouse. Mm-hmm. And say, honey, if you ever hear me say don't or can't, slap me on the face.
Yeah.
Do something to bring it to your attention, but you're not going to hear it all the time. So if somebody else is aware and can bring it to your attention, that gives you a chance to catch it in the moment, rethink the situation and rephrase it positively. And so that's why I saved that little note I did from that meeting 3 years ago, is because it was a perfect illustration that if you hear it from the outside, like last week, when you hear every single sentence being negative, the goal is to raise your awareness of your thinking and what's actually going through your mind. So. Yeah.
For me personally, it starts with admitting that, I'm rolling in negative. I think I'm a positive person, but still under the surface is that negative. What I'm doing is I'm still approaching life from a negative perspective, and I don't recognize it.
A lot of times people will, say I am a positive person, and they very well may, make a concerted effort to be positive. But what they don't realize a lot of times is they're creating some of the negativity that they then have to overcome. Mm-hmm. So they'll say,
there you go.
It could be worse. And then they'll jump up and try to, overcome their situation, when saying it could be worse is actually a very negative statement, which makes the situation worse. Then you have to overcome the negativity that you did create on top of the negativity you're experiencing, as opposed to just saying, this sucks. You know what? 6 months, this is what we're going to do.
There you
go. I'm struggling to pay my bills today. Fact.
Right.
6 months from now, we're going to be financially stable.
Yeah.
There is a problem. Focus on the solution.
Yeah. It could be worse is an avoidance.
Well, it could be worse is this is actually what happens. You're in a negative situation and your brain is focused on the negative situation. You lost your job. You're struggling to pay your bills. That is negative. That's truth. But what we do to other people and what we do to ourselves when we say it could be worse is we cause ourselves or we cause the other person to imagine a worse nightmare.
Yeah.
Feel horrible about that.
Yeah.
And then settle.
Sure. Yeah.
For this little bit of negativity in your life.
And actually stay stuck instead of moving forward in a positive mindset.
You are telling people, shut up. Get over it.
Yeah.
Pull yourself up.
Yeah.
Stop being a
turd.
And, and that's why I'm sitting here. It sucks. I can't pay my bills. You know what? It could be worse. I could be dead. And then I'm now avoiding the situation that is a problem as opposed to saying, man, this sucks. What am I going to do to get out of this? Positive thinking is not rainbows and unicorns. Positive thinking is solution focused, goal oriented. And yes, there is some good things in all situations that we may overlook that may help us tolerate getting through it.
Yeah.
And that can be a positive thought process. But if something sucks, it sucks. And you don't make it better by making yourself imagine and wallow in something that could be even worse so that you can then be okay with how much it sucks right now.
Sure. Yeah. So true.
And that's the deal is we're trying to be positive, but we don't always know how.
Yeah.
And that's what some of these fundamentals are about is here are some very basic, specific skills that if you start implementing these, you'll begin to change how you think. Then you will really see what it is like to think positively.
Yeah. So one of the ways that I have put into practice, you're talking about the how, one of the lessons that you have taught on lowering anxiety and being positive is the whole do it now.
Mm-hmm.
And this past week, I have really I have applied the whole do it now. Anytime I started to say to myself, well, I'll just do that tomorrow. I don't want to do it today.
Right.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Right.
I stopped myself and I figured out a way to do it today. And it's crazy. I feel... Well, I'm happy to be able to share this because I'm with all of you out there. I am surprised at how good I have felt this week, having knocked out a whole lot of things that I would not have gotten done. I moved forward in a very positive way and felt great about it. It's amazing how good you feel when you knock stuff off that list that you have been avoiding.
And who created that?
I would say the good Lord did.
Okay, well, but who created it?
Who created it?
That positive feeling.
Well, I did.
Yes.
By doing it now.
Yes. And we control how we feel.
I thought you were going along with the answer is always Jesus.
What?
I give God all the glory. Even for the things that I was wanting to do tomorrow. Yes. Well, I created that. You're right.
And
I'll take credit
you got
for that.
those instructions out of the Bible. But if you'd have said, I'll do it tomorrow, then you would experience, a couple of ounces of stress.
Sure.
No, I got something else on the list. Something else starts to pile up. And it's just a minor amount of stress. It begins to pile. But when you take that opposite approach, do it now. Before I walk out of here, I'm going to straighten this up. And you start doing those little things now, you walk out with a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah. Well.
And when you walk in the next day, things are done.
Mm-hmm.
You begin to feel good. You feel momentum. You feel positive. And it's that shift in thinking.
Yeah. Well, when Jesus said, why put off until tomorrow what you can do today? Why worry about tomorrow?
Sure.
Why put it on to tomorrow and it becomes a worry? Now it's sitting there, you're thinking about it. You haven't gotten it off of your mind.
Right.
Because it's an unfinished deal. It's an unfinished project. It's an unfinished whatever and if just knock it out today. So my word of encouragement for today, if you are out there and there's even one thing that you have been putting off and you have thought to yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. And all of a sudden tomorrow has turned into another tomorrow, into another tomorrow, into a month, maybe even a year. Get it done. Do it now.
Do it now.
Just get up right now and go do it.
It makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, it really does. Especially, I think the context that we were talking about it in was the whole ADHD stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And so for someone like myself and that, it really is helpful just to do it now. Get it done.
Sure.
So good.
Like the Admiral said, you start off the morning making your bed.
Yeah.
And that kicks you off with one little accomplishment.
Yeah.
And those begin to roll.
Mm-hmm.
Do it now.
Yep. Moving forward positively. I love it.
Merchandise.
We have officially launched a merch store. Woohoo! Ooh, and it looks good. It looks really good. WichitaScreenPrinting.com. But we have our own URL that you can find out on the YouTube.
In the description on the videos, last couple of videos, it's in the description section. I've got a link on my business website. There's a link on the Just These Guys Facebook page to go to that. And if you're a member of the email list, then you should have gotten a link already in your email account.
How do you become a member of the email list?
Give me your email. Or let me steal it, like I got yours, and you don't read the emails. So.
Oh, I read them.
But yes, if you want to be on the email list, they're short, they're sweet, they're not lengthy, or they're just like little updates.
Yeah.
Keep you in touch with what's going on with Just These Guys.
Yeah, it's really good. Shirts, hats.
Oh, the hats look amazing.
A lot of good stuff, yeah. Yeah.
And give me that trucker hat.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's a good looking one. It'll be very fitting. Not to knock truckers out there, but when a good friend of mine had a baby, I found this hat. It was literally for a baby that said "Future Trucker." So,
well, there was a thing when I was a kid, and I digress, and we'll get to something else here in a second. Hang on, but this phrase, nobody, and maybe it's because they're all Yankees or something, but a cat hat. And, everybody wanted a cat hat. And if you were talking about a redneck, you talked about a cat hat and not the Kansas State Wildcats. But Caterpillar.
Yep. Yeah.
They had a ball cap and it's a cat on it.
Yeah.
And it was, iconically redneck. It was, anytime they showed a Southern person on television, Cooter,
right.
Dukes of Hazzard,
right.
Worn out, beat up. Caterpillar hat. It was, kind of referred to as a cat hat, lovingly, a cat hat.
Yep.
And I've always looked for a cat hat. Somebody, did you go on the web?
There you go.
Well, I didn't think of that. I could
it was
go down.
All about the hunt.
It was about the hunt. But that's what that ball cap on our merchandise website reminds me of. That black and white one with the logo reminds me of a cat hat. So I really want it.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, if you really want it, you know where you can get it. So thank you again, Gino, for getting all that set up. Hard work. Thank you, Doc.
Amazing job.
For getting that rocking and rolling. And good stuff. So you got you're going to hit us with a little Micah 6:8 wisdom?
It's the idea that it is so simple.
We do overcomplicate things.
Life is so simple, and we just tend to, and it's part of our nature. It's got to be programmed in somehow or another to just make stuff complicated.
Yep.
And I overheard somebody talking some sermon I was listening to, and he referenced Micah 6:8, and apparently it's famous.
Yep.
Because you knew it when you walked in the door this morning.
Right.
And when he was talking about it, I was like, well, what came before?
Sure.
That was my question. When he said it, very simple set of instructions. I'm like, well, what was going on that this was necessary to say?
Yeah. Well, so the setup earlier was ask not, want not. Well, what if we were to actually take time each morning and ask God, well, what do you want?
Exactly. The opposite
Yeah.
of what we normally think.
Yeah.
And somebody said the other day, they're like, the things were falling apart in their life. And they said, well, I guess it's time to pray.
Yeah. Last resort.
Yeah.
Here we go.
How would it have gone had you put that one first?
Right. Let's pull out that prayer card. Here we go. I guess we'll have to use it. I was saving it.
I've made a mess of everything. Now, can you help me out? But it's Micah chapter 6, and it's the Lord's case against Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And
because we have a tendency to be a little frustrating to God. Thank goodness he's a positive thinker.
yeah. And here he is. He's frustrated with his people.
Mm-hmm.
And he says to them, and this is the Lord talking to us.
Mm-hmm.
My people, what have I done to you? How have I burdened you? Answer me. I brought you out of Egypt and I redeemed you from the land of slavery. I sent Moses to lead you, also Aaron and Miriam. My people, remember what Balak, king of Moab, plotted and what Balaam,
Mm-hmm.
son of Beor, answered. Remember your journey from Shittim to Gilgal, that you may know the righteous acts of the Lord. So he's frustrated with them.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all that I've done for you.
Yeah.
And the people's response.
Oh, with what shall I come before the Lord and bow down before the exalted God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves a year old? Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, with tens of thousands of rivers of olive oil? Shall I offer my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul?
If you've never done radio drama shows, you're missing your calling. And here it is.
And so
He's
here,
like, no.
what shall I do? The people are asking the Lord, we've screwed up. What shall I do?
Mm-hmm.
And here's the answer. I'll give it you in NIV, and then I'll give it to you in the Message version.
Cool.
But in the NIV, Micah 6:8. He has shown you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly and to love mercy and to walk humbly with your God.
It's good.
Shall I burn 10,000 rams on an altar? Shall I give you 10,000 rivers? Shall I kill my firstborn child? The Message version. But he's already made it plain how to live and what to do, what God is looking for in men and women. It's quite simple. Do what is fair and just to your neighbor. Be compassionate and loyal in your love. And don't take yourself too seriously. Take God seriously.
Boom.
It's simple.
That's boom. Think of your neighbor positively. Be just. And be humble.
Why so serious?
Mm-hmm. I really like that. The way Eugene Peterson puts it in the Message. Take God seriously and yourself not so seriously.
Now, I shared this with you earlier. I don't know why I have to tell the audience that. So it's almost like plagiarism. I can't plagiarize anything.
Mm,
but there was an incident probably 10, 12 years ago where Ryan did something that at the time was mind-blowing. And now that I know Micah 6:8 is further evidence that he knows everything, how to live life. And it's really my job to learn from him. Because there was about 10, 12 years ago, somebody was picking on him, chirping at him, irritating him, needling him. And you could tell he was annoyed. But he would just look at him and look away and move to the other side of the room. And they kept on. Tiki, tiki, tiki. And he'd look at him and walk away. And they kept on. So he went outside. As far as it be to you, be in conflict with no one. He went outside.
Sure.
They followed him
Yeah.
and kept on. And then he stood up. And you know how hard he is to understand sometimes. His dictation is not the clearest.
Sure.
He spoke with the clarity of a radio announcer. He stood up, he walked over the person, looked at him and said, "Put your hands in your pocket, bring the attitude way down, and be nice to people."
and he could have said, Micah 6:8.
Right there, bam.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was so impressed.
And a boy, Ryan.
The wisdom coming out of his mind in that moment.
That is good. That is good. Well, so this whole idea of with a positive mindset, it actually does free us up to consider not just what we want, but what God wants. That it sets us up to realize that, you know, there are times in our life where we don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It starts to hit you.
But it's because if we want, we ask. And sometimes we don't have because we don't ask. So the reality.
No, that's the reality. And that's, originally fundamental number 4 before I kind of pulled it into 4 fundamentals. It was a concept I called don't want, do want. Mm-hmm. Because it's easy to remember. And you will say, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want this, I don't care. What do you want?
What do you want?
What do you want? That's the positive, solution-focused question.
Yep.
And so, don't ask. What were you saying earlier? Don't want. See, I've screwed it all up.
See, I'm away from the don'ts.
Have not, ask not.
Yes. Have not, ask not. Waste not, want not. I was just mixing it all up. Say not, get not.
And when that's the deal, is if you don't ask, you don't get. So
right.
Flip that.
Right.
If you do ask,
yes,
you do get.
So
negative to positive.
Yes. You and you did ask. I got to do something real quick though. I'm squirming.
Do 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 do. Commercial break. Do 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 do. Oh. What is this? What is this?
You, my brother,
Nuh-uh.
asked.
Oh my goodness.
You asked, but I just want to help you to understand. Because you asked, I'll tell the story real quick. I'm going to give you this. I took it to another level.
Whoa, my goodness. This is... I'm going to cry.
So Lance was involved in a bidding war on a guitar that was set to help pay for some kids to go to our camp in the middle of summer. And he just barely lost out. Barely lost out. Yeah. And it was a guitar that one of our guitar players had given away to the cause. And his signature was on it, and some of the band's signature was on it. And what I thought to myself is, well, I'm going to be involved a little bit in this because that's what I want to do. So I took a guitar that I had purchased about 25 years ago. Yep. I took it to Damn Music, which I'm repping today in this shirt. So
damnmusic.com.
Shout out to Damn Music. If you need anything music, go to Damn Music if you're here in Wichita. And what I asked them, I said, can we take this guitar and make it left-handed? Because I got a buddy of mine who I want to give this to who plays left-handed. And they at first they said, well, see where the knobs are and all this and that. It's not ideal. And I said, it doesn't have to be ideal. He's probably not going to play a lot. But if he wants to play it, I want him to be able to play it. Sure. So they changed the nut. They switched it around. It's now a left-handed guitar.
It's officially left-handed. The nut is actually changed.
Yep, exactly. And so,
And the setup is nice.
Yeah, if you're a guitar aficionado, it's an Ibanez. It's a sharp guitar.
It is.
I'm very proud to be a part of presenting this to you.
Thank you
You
so
asked.
much.
You were wanting to be generous, and you were wanting to be a part of that, and that heart is huge. And I know that you appreciate this.
Oh,
and so
this is amazing. And thank you guys. And for the podcast audience, you can't see the guitar. Go to the YouTube channel if you want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's autographed.
Yep.
And these autographs are like legitimate
Yeah, these people
rock star.
I mean, my name's on there, so I'm not included in what I'm about to say. But these folks can play.
Oh, my goodness.
They are talented people in our worship team. So that's good stuff. And thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Because here's the deal. I came in that morning, and you were fully expecting, after the auction, you were fully expecting that I would walk in with your guitar that you had purchased because you thought you won.
I had the cash in my pocket.
And I didn't have a guitar. So there you go. Full circle. It's complete. And it's this wouldn't have happened had you just kept your mouth shut and been frustrated. Another little lesson. Sometimes when we just clam up and we just get mad, we don't end up with what we want. And it wasn't like you threw a fit or anything. You were just like, oh, I thought you were going to have the guitar. And so I'm happy to see this moment.
I
Come
expressed what I wanted.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yep.
On that note.
That's right.
Well, thank you, Mike.
Absolutely. Thank you, Doc.
Wonderful topic and the awesome guitar.
It's a good day to have a good day. Go get what you want.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We're just these guys.
Ask God what He wants.
Boom.
And your day will just get better.
Exactly.
And better. And
Catch you
better.
next week.
And better. And better.
I'm skipping work today.
Yeah.